Oh, the stock market, where dreams are made and nightmares become reality. Where you can turn $1,000 into $1,000,000 or lose $20 billion in 2 days. Yeah, that really happened. But I bet that's not the option that you're looking for. So you're watching this video because you want to figure out how you can become the modern day Warren Buffett. Well, let's talk about how to pick stocks step by step. Let's go. What's going on, people? It's your boy Kalechi back with another video. If this is your first time around these parts, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy anything that we're talking about on this video, hit that like button. Turn that thing. Did we get it? Yes, we did. Blue. But anyway, welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to pick stocks like the Oracle himself. We bow. Warren Buffett. And I'm going to mix in a few things that I've learned from other people like Peter Lynch. These guys are the legends. They are the guys that actually know a thing or two about investing in the stock market. All right, so let's start with step number 1. The first step is the easiest one of them all. It's just to pick a company. The only thing you have to watch out for here is to make sure that that company is actually publicly traded. And so you have to remember that stocks have an underlying business. In other words, these are not just numbers on a screen. These are not just letters on a screen. These are actual businesses that underlie a stock. And if you remember this, if you keep this in mind, you remember that underneath every single stock that you see traded on the publicly traded markets, whether it's the New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, or anywhere else, there is an actual business that underlines it, which means that when you're picking stocks, it's better for you to focus on businesses that you have an idea about. Maybe you use their products. For example, maybe you're an Apple user, and so maybe you want to invest in Apple stock, or maybe you use Amazon Prime, so maybe you want to invest in Amazon. You're watching this on YouTube, maybe invest in Google. The point is, find companies that you use on a regular basis, and then those should be the first companies that you look at to try and invest in. And then the other thing is, as Peter Lynch says, find companies that you have somewhat of an edge in. In other words, companies that you have baseline understanding with. Maybe you use their products at work. Maybe you just are always inundated in that industry. You're dealing with that industry. Like my medical folks out there. Like there's a lot of products that you can invest in that you use every single day at the office, and you know more about it than anybody else would know about it. Or maybe the drugs that you actually give to your patients. Look into those drugs. Look into the companies that manufacture those drugs. Are those drugs good, or do you feel like there are other companies that do better? Look into those things. These kind of things are what will actually make you a great investor like Warren Buffett or Peter Lynch or Charlie Munger. So after you've picked your company, let's get to step number 2. There are 2 parts to this step. The first part is figure out how the company that you pick makes its money. I'm sure for most of us, we just think, oh, Apple, they make their money just off of selling iPhones. There's a lot of other details that go into that as well. You have to figure out all the ways that this company makes its profit. You have to spend the time researching and learning about the company. And the easiest way, or the best way for you to start learning about a company, is to search for something called the 10K report. What you can do is go on Google and just type in Apple 10K report, and it will pop up for you to be able to read about the company that you're investing in. And that will break down how they make their profits. For Apple, they make their profits through software like Apple Music, Apple TV, and then also through hardware like the phones that you buy, the headset that you wear, the watch that you're wearing right now. All of these things are how you figure out how the company makes its profit. It's good that you use their product, but you got to figure out, is this company profitable? Which is part B of step number 2, which is you got to figure out, does this company actually make a profit? And does this company have a defensible position? Is there something special about this company versus its competition? One of the things that you will read about in the 10K report is the competition against the company. This is key for you to understand what it is that this company is doing that makes sure that other companies cannot compete against it. For example, we go back to Apple. One of the biggest reasons Apple is the largest company in the world is because it has an amazing brand. Like everyone looks at Apple's brand and they want in. So much so that if you're texting somebody on an iPhone and they see a green bubble pop up, they all freak out like, oh my God, I didn't want to talk to you anymore. You are broke. You're so broke, you can't even buy yourself an iPhone. That's like literally a thing. It means that their brand awareness, their brand power is unbelievable. Think of a company like McDonald's. We all know about the double arches. We know Nike, swoosh. Like we all know these brand names. Start there. Like what is the competitive advantage? What is the thing that makes this company special? So once you understand both of these things, we move on to step number 3. Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty. Now we're getting into the main thing. And step number 3 is for you to learn more about the management team. I like to say that a great business can be ruined by bad management. So it doesn't matter if that company is doing very, very well. It's important that you figure out, does this management team have honesty? And also, are they talented at what they do? In other words, can they run this business to continue producing money? The way you learn about a management team is you listen to interviews, because you won't be able to talk to them person to person. You scour the internet to figure out where are they talking and what are they saying. Listen to the earnings call to hear them interpret questions from the audience. It's not just about them telling their story of this is what we do and this is what we expect, but answering questions from analysts will tell you a lot more about what that company expects to be and how the management team views the company. Is very important. One of the reasons that we say Microsoft was able to have such a major turnaround was because a new manager came in, a new CEO came in, Satya Nadella. He came in and he just changed the image of Microsoft. Management teams matter. Now, they're not the most important thing, but they matter a good deal. The final step, and probably the most important step of this entire procedure, is the valuation. As Charlie Munger likes to say, there is no company that is worth infinite amount of dollars. In other words, there is a price for every company. You have to determine what that price is for you by using growth rate calculations and all this other stuff. There's a bunch of different ways for you to value companies. But the point is, you have to determine when a company is overvalued and when a company is undervalued and when you want to buy that company. There is no company that you should just be like, oh, I'm just willing to buy any amount of money into this company. No. The only time you can do that is pretty much when you're buying into an ETF and you just dollar cost average into it. But for single stocks, it is important that we determine a valuation. It's important we determine a buy price for the company. Otherwise, we end up overpaying and then we end up in a hole. You can literally do all the other research and then you get to this point and you have to toss the company out because it doesn't meet your price point that you would like to buy it. But the good news is, if you do all of this research, even when you get to that price point, you can just shelve it until the company reaches where you want it to get to. So let's do a quick recap of every single step of how to pick stock. One is find a company. It may be a company you use on a regular basis, whether it's at home or at work or wherever. Pick a company. Look up what that company's ticker symbol is and start doing research on the company. 2, figure out how that company makes its money, and then also figure out what the advantage is of that company. How does it make all its money? How does it become profitable? And what are the advantages around that company? 3, start learning about the management team of that business. It's not good enough that the company itself has an awesome brand or has awesome money-making skills. It's also important that the management of that company also knows what they're doing. 4 is for you to determine a buy price for that company. It's for you to value that company and figure out how you want to spend your money for that company. Figure out when you want to buy into that company. These are the steps to make you become more like Warren Buffett. But anyway, that's all I got for y'all. I hope you learned 1, maybe 2 things out of this entire thing. And if you did, hit that like button. If you loved it, hit that subscribe button. But I'm gonna catch y'all up on the next one. Remember, generosity is always greater than greed. God bless each and every single one of y'all, and I'm out.